Look at this glorious morning. Why ask for anything more? I follow where my heart leads. Walk through this open door. I've always been a seeker, felt like I was alone. Now in this room full of smiling faces, I know I found my home. This is where joy lives, this is where love is. This is a place where I am strong. This is where eyes meet, where kindred hearts beat. I am right where I belong. Here in this place I'm accepted. I'm welcome just as I am. I'm ready to be inspired, to reach out a helping hand. This is a new beginning. I trust in the mystery. Now that my heart is open, there's no place I'd rather be. This is where joy lives. This is where love is. This is a place where I am strong. This is where eyes meet, where kindred hearts beat. I am right where I belong. This is where joy lives. This is where love is. This is a place where I am strong. This is where eyes meet, where kindred hearts beat. I am right where I belong. Oh, I'm right where I belong.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Brent and Patty, for that beautiful celebratory song this morning. And we are right where we belong, here in Unity of Hagerstown. And I'm so happy to see each and every one of you. And for our Facebook friends, as the camera comes back this way, is slowly coming over here maybe. If not, you can hear my voice and know that you are welcome too. Hi, friends. Oh, yes, a big welcome to each and every one of you. So, in an ongoing effort to bring inclusivity and diversity of all cultures and interweaving them into a tapestry that will do throughout the year. Today we turn to National Native American Heritage Day month. In 1990, President Bush established this month of November as the National Native American Heritage Month to honor the cultures, the traditions, the teachings, the crafts, the dance, the way of life of Native people in the United States. And I am going to offer a quote to you from Chief White Eagle from the Ponca tribe, which is a tribe that succeeded from the Omaha tribe in Nebraska. When you are in doubt, be still and wait. When doubt no longer exists for you, then go forward with courage. So long as mists envelop you, be still. Be still until the sunlight pours through and dispels the mist, as it surely will. Then act with courage. Thank you, Chief White Eagle. I invite you to join me in our mission statement. Together, Unity of Hagerstown, a welcoming community, embraces spiritual awakening through affirmative prayer and meditation, creating a positive path for abundant living. And now we'll have the reading of the Daily Word with B.G. Miller.
The word for today, Sunday, November 14th, is prosperity. Current flowing through my home's wiring provides light, but first I must flip the switch to turn it on. Divine substance, the building block of creation, is the source from which my prosperity grows. But first, I must claim it in consciousness to live a prosperous life. The divine idea of prosperity is unlimited, more than sufficient to meet every need. I know true prosperity when I live from this truth. Giving freely and generously keeps prosperity at the forefront of my consciousness. I know the more I give, the more of myself I place into circulation, the more I will experience. As I give of myself, I increase the flow of prosperity in my life and in the world. The scripture is from Mark, and he said to them, "Pay attention to what you hear. The measure you give will be the measure you get, and still more will be given to you." Join me now in the affirmation on the screen. Prosperity fills my life. And take that in and let's affirm it together. Prosperity fills my life.
Thank you, BG. And now we'll have another song with Brent and Patty.
Open my eyes, greet the new day. Take a deep breath, then I kneel down and pray. Then I give thanks, look in the mirror, and a friend looks back at me. A smile lights up my face, and I know that I am blessed. So I expect the best. I expect the best. Do 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 do. I know that I'm loved right where I stand. I know I'm enough just as I am. All that I want, all I desire is now waiting here for me. The universe conspires to ensure my happiness. So I expect the best. I expect the best. Do 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 do. I expect the best from every passing moment, every single day. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Loving my life, living my dreams, losing my fears, I'm spreading my wings, feeling alive, anticipating what the future holds for me. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next, 'cause I expect the best. Do 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 do. I expect the best. Do 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 do. Expect the best.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know what that is.
And we had great accompaniment with the drum. And I'd like to welcome anybody who has a drum to bring it next Sunday. Let's just raise the roof off this building. So I am delighted in presenting to you our guest speaker today. Personally, I told you last week, I believe he's a genius. I absolutely do, Mark. Mark is a licensed Unity teacher. He's also he founded a church back in the 90s, is that right? A little bit before then, yeah. Okay. And was very successful as a spiritual leader. He also established truthunity.net, which, if you're not familiar with that website, it is amazing. Thanks to Mark, we have a wonderful resource right at our fingertips. So without any further ado, I invite you to come up here, Mark, and share with us your talk. Wait a second.
Swap mic.
There you go. You're all set.
How's the sound? Okay. Great. I went swimming this morning. My eyes are bloodshot. So if I'm going like this, it's because I can't see. Anyway, thank you. By the way, you had a great prosperity affirmation this morning. And just if you want more, reach out to my bag. These are hot off the press Martha Judici prosperity affirmations. And there are 21 of them. 21 prosperity affirmations by Martha Judici. She is arguably the best prosperity teacher we ever had. And I say that knowing that we have Catherine Ponder, we have Eric Butterworth, we have Charles Fillmore. This woman knocked it out of the park. And if you listen to the audio and take the program, it's online. It's an audio series back in the 1990s. A guy at my original church back in 2010 said that the first week he did what she said, and he wound up finding $3,000 he didn't know. So anyway, for whatever it's worth, here's a stack of cards. Yeah. What I want to share with you today is the result of a book that I'm writing. That was written. It's actually the manuscript's in. They're formatting the book right now. Those of you who've been in Unity for a while know that we have a thing called metaphysics. And in Christianity, we have a thing called mysticism. And this talk is about the relationship between metaphysics and mysticism. Because most of you probably came up in the Christian or the Judeo-Christian faith. I'm just betting that you didn't grow up in Unity. So your friends and your family might be Episcopalian. You might be Baptist, you might be Catholic, you might be harboring those things. You may be wondering, what is this thing called metaphysics? And the point of this talk is that metaphysics is unique to metaphysical religion like Unity. Mysticism is the common experience we share with all others in the Judeo-Christian tradition. Jesus was a mystic. And the difference is, mysticism is our experience of God. Metaphysics is our understanding of God. There's a big difference. And so when our friends and our family, this Christmas or this Thanksgiving, they say, "You still going to that Unity church?" And you say, "Yes, I am." Right? And they say, "Well, tell me, what is unity?" What's your answer going to be? And I find that people in Unity have a very, very difficult time with that question. And the answer is very simple. It's practical Christianity. Well, what's that mean? It's metaphysical Christianity. Well, what does that mean? Well, we are Christian but we're metaphysical Christian, as opposed to evangelical Christian, as opposed to Catholic Christian. See, there's three great branches of Christianity. Two we know. The Catholic tradition came about for 1,000 years. 1,500, 500 years later, the evangelical tradition came. And it's still with us today. But under the surface has always been this metaphysical tradition. It's not, you don't see it, because metaphysics has always been kind of a viral ministry. It's something that, because metaphysical people are concentrating on the reality with a capital R. They don't want to run churches. They don't want to be the bishop. They don't want to burn people at the stake. They simply want to experience God just like your friends and family do. Your friends and family are mystics. They're probably Catholic. They may be Jewish mystics. They may be Christian mystics. But if they're traditional in any form, you share the same experience with them. You still love. You still look for forgiveness. You still look for harmony. You still look for peace. You still look for wholeness. You still look for prosperity. We differ very much in our understanding of God. Our understanding of God is metaphysical. But I can tell you the Catholics and the evangelicals don't have a common understanding at all. They fought it out for a long time. And so we're not all that unique. Christianity has always been divided in its understanding of God. And metaphysics is just another prominent thread that's been there for a long time. And so when you're with your friends and family at Thanksgiving and you get into you avoid the political discussion and then you get sucked into the religious discussion, which is likely to happen, right? When that happens, just know that, say to them, our experience is the same. I want to be loved just like you want to be loved. I want to know God just like you want to know God. I want to live healthy and whole just like you want to live healthy and whole. My method for going through it is slightly different, but we share that. We share that. That's the message. Now, then what is metaphysics? And how does it differ from evangelical and Catholic understandings of God? And in my book, I've got in there a whole bunch of things that can be said. You know, we're not born in sin, we're born in bondedness. It's not what we confess, it's how we're transformed. It's not worshiping Jesus, it's following Jesus. There's some fundamental differences in our understanding, but our experience is the same. I'm proud to be a metaphysical Christian. And I believe it's the way of the future. Right now, it's just kind of underground viral ministry. But if you walk into a Barnes & Noble bookstore and you go over to the traditional Christian books and Bibles, you'll see maybe 5 racks. And then you turn around and you go over to the metaphysical aisle, you know, the weird stuff. You're going to find about 3 racks. And my point is, throughout the entire 2,000-year tradition of Christianity, throughout Judaism and Kabbalah, throughout Islam and Sufism, it's been about 5 to 3. In other words, about 30% of the participants, they really are metaphysical. They're looking for practical Christianity. And so I want to bring out one example, one powerful example of how that plays out in unity. How many of you ever heard of Emily Cady? Great. How many of you ever heard of Lessons in Truth, her book, right? And how many chapters, I'm going to get a little tougher, how many chapters has it got? It's got, well, all books in unity have 12 chapters. Okay. I can just tell you, if you're asked a question about how many powers, how many chapters, they're all 12. They're all 12. Okay. And this is the trick question. What is the last chapter of Lessons in Truth? And it's a trick question, so I'll just give you the answer straight out. It's called Liberty or Bondage, Which? Now, your copy probably has that as the first chapter. And that was a big blunder by Unity done about 40 or 50 years ago. Because Emily Cady's book started with her description of God, just like Emma Curtis Hopkins' book started like that, just like Charles Fillmore's Christian Healing started. They all start with this explanation of God and being, and they end somewhere else. And Emily Cady's ends with Liberty or Bondage, Which? And if we read it as the last chapter instead of the first chapter, it has a whole different meaning. And where I'm headed with this is she starts with metaphysics and she ends with mysticism. Okay? Now, let me tell you a secret. The difference between metaphysics and mysticism is how we look at people. Do we look at people as an object, or do we look at people as people? So when you're having your Thanksgiving dinner, and that weird cousin of yours is here to ruin your day again, a great mystic will understand that he or she is a person. And Unity does a very good job of understanding people as people, as opposed to people as objects, as opposed to someone who's in my way, or as opposed to someone who is a vehicle for my desires, someone I can judge. That is seeing people as objects. And here's where I'm probably going to get in trouble with my colleague over here. Okay. Metaphysics fundamentally is talking about God. It's our understanding of God. God is an object. Or euphemistically, we say God is a principle. Something that I use in order to get my needs met. As a great metaphysician, I apply principle. And when I apply principle, prosperity emerges. When I apply principle, I am healed. That's metaphysics. Mysticism is when we see with the open heart. Mysticism is when we see the other as a person. Mysticism is when our relationship with God is I-thou. The great Jewish theologian, the greatest theologian probably of the 20th century, Martin Buber wrote, I am thou. Our job in this church, in this movement, is to see God as a thou. To become a mystic. And the point is, metaphysics will get us there. And the reason metaphysics will get us there is because the heart will not accept what the mind rejects. And today, in our scientific culture, our scientific world, we want to know about God. When we know about God in a holistic way, then we will begin to experience God in a thou way. And we will even see that crazy cousin of ours at our Thanksgiving dinner as a thou. Okay? That's mysticism. That is what we're doing here. That is what we're doing with our life. It's how is it that we go from metaphysics where we shove things around and we use principle to get our needs met and change into a mode of being where our heart is open and we rely on God to transform this cousin of ours into someone that we love. So let me go back to Emily Cady, because I want to share with you 10 things that are in Lessons in Truth. Liberty or bondage, which? And I ask you, when you go home, pull out Lessons in Truth. Look at it. Paragraphs 1 through 5, she talks about going from bad decisions to fullness of time. Now, in bad decisions in our life, the metaphysical answer to bad decisions is to change our consciousness. When we change our thinking, we change our life. But Emily Cady says, no. What real change occurs is the fullness of time when Jesus the Christ entered into our consciousness. We don't have to apply principle. The fullness of time will transform us into the mystic. Paragraphs 1 through 5. Paragraphs 6 through 9 goes from oneness with self to oneness with God. She begins talking about oneness. And metaphysical people talk about the 12 powers, the oneness of our consciousness, where we unify these powers in our consciousness. We become one and whole as a self. The mystic becomes one with God. They go from oneness with self to oneness with God. And when that transformation occurs, God transforms us. Paragraphs 10 through 19. Emily Cady talks about from being source to being an inlet and an outlet for source. We've all heard that we go to the source. What is the source? And too often metaphysicians say the source is our divinity. Baloney. We are an inlet and an outlet. We are an inlet for divinity and an outlet for divinity. Divinity passes through the mystic. Divinity emerges from the metaphysician. We allow ourselves as mystics to allow the flow of God to come through us. So we are not the source. We are the inlet and the outlet of the source. Paragraphs 20 through 22. Emily Cady has us from calling on principle to hearing God's call. Metaphysicians apply principle. Mystics hear God's call and answer. Is it I, Lord? Is the great song that we sing so often in traditional churches. Paragraphs 23 to 27. From practicing principle to practicing presence. And when Emily Cady says presence, she capitalizes it. I can't tell you how many times I have butted heads with the great metaphysician of our time who insists that God is principle. Well, have you ever sung the song, "Surely the principle of the Lord is in this place"? Does that work for you? Does it? No. Yes, God is a principle. God is also a presence. And Emily Cady asks us, we can see God as a principle, that's fine, but we have to understand that God is a presence. God is with us. God is alive. God is a real living reality. Here now, not then there, not in the past, not in the future. God is here, a presence. And the mystic will understand that. Paragraphs 28 to 31, from power to consciousness, or power to gentleness, She concludes that saying, "Thy gentleness has made me great." Norman Vincent Peale wrote The Power of Positive Thinking. Eric Butterworth wrote I've drawn a blank. His great book. No. No. Oh my gosh. What is it? Eric Butterworth's great book, The Power of... He's into power. The point is a metaphysician is powerful. A mystic is gentle. As the African-American hymn, God will fight your battles. We don't need to be powerful. We need to be gentle. And Emily Cady brings that out in paragraphs 28 to 31. Paragraphs 32 to 33, she goes from forgiving evil to giving good. Metaphysicians know that forgiveness is essential. We all know that. And metaphysicians have carried us to a point where we understand that we must give good consciousness to evil situations. If the person cuts you off in traffic, you don't flip them the bird, you flip them the blessing, right? We give good. Okay? But Emily Cady has us go one further. The mystic will actually give tangibly good. So when that weird cousin comes and pokes all your hot buttons on Thursday, we must do more than just simply bless that person in our consciousness. We must recognize some blessing in that person and then share it back with them in a positive way. Paragraphs 34 to 38. From only good to only God. The metaphysician understands that all is good. The metaphysician sees only good. That's tough as nails. And all too often, we say, I see the good, but deep, there's a resentment somewhere inside that says it isn't good. Where do you go with that? The mystic goes to God. The mystic knows that if we allow God to fight our battles, if we, as Emmett Fox said, if we place our consciousness only on God, not on good, on God, that somehow God transforms that unbearable evil into a greater good. There's two approaches. You see the mystic? The mystic is applying principle, and that's fine. That stabilizes our life. That provides us a foundation. But then that allows the mystic in us to go forward and to call upon God, to cast our difficulties on God, and then God will transform it from a greater good to a God solution, a perfect and elegant solution for what is needed. Paragraphs 39 to 46. From truth to trust. We have been taught in unity we are truth students. And that is true. That is true. We see reality, capital R. We see the essence behind all things. But we may not like it. And too often we approach it in a form of stoicism. We say it's all good because it's truth. The mystic trusts. The mystic says, I don't see the way out. I don't know the way out. My marriage is unrecoverable. My relationship with my kids is gone. I'm drunk. I'm in a ditch. The mystic gets out of the ditch by trust, not by truth. We go from truth to trust when we go from metaphysics to mysticism. And then last, paragraphs 47 to 48, from Greek philosophy to practical Christianity. So this is a little more academic. The fact is, where did we get mysticism? Where did we get metaphysics? We got it because at the time of Jesus' life, Palestine was embedded in the middle of a culture that was entirely Hellenistic, Greek. If you got out of Jerusalem or out of Nazareth, it wasn't very far before you ran into a culture that believed in metaphysics in the same way our culture today believes in science. It was the science of the time, and the metaphysicians have given us geometry. The metaphysicians have given us principled ethics. The metaphysicians have given us medicine. Pythagoras, I forget, Hippocratic, who did the Hippocratic Oath? You know? The medicine, this all came out of Greek culture. And when Jesus might not have been a metaphysician, but Paul certainly was, and when Paul started taking the message out into the greater world, he did what everybody would do. He applied metaphysical thinking to the Christian message. And so we have in Paul's writings, we have in our 2,000-year tradition of Christianity, we have metaphysics. It's Greek philosophy. It's primarily Platonic, but it has Stoic elements in it. But it runs through it. And our society today has far more metaphysical understanding than we know. Like I said, you know, people take the Hippocratic Oath. People recite the Pythagorean theorem. When we look at ethics, we ask, what are the principles behind it? What are the values behind it? All that's new. All that came from the Greeks. And all that's wonderful. And unity is one of the few instances of metaphysical Christianity that has continued to say that we must order our life, we must ground our life in a real way, and out of that order and out of that grounding, we can then move into mysticism. To try to become a mystic when your life is a shambles is impossible. If you can't pay your bills, if you can't get out of the ditch, if you can't get along with others, if you see yourself as lowly, you're not going to become a mystic. So in my opinion, metaphysics is that thing that has come and grabbed us by the scruff of the neck and raised us up and said, listen, Buster, you can do better. But it's not going to get us into the kingdom living that Jesus is talking about. We must go from metaphysics to mysticism. And in my opinion, that is why Emily Cady has continued to be the most read Unity author, which is really strange because Emily Cady never visited Unity Village. Not once. But she keeps coming up. She keeps coming up. And everybody who reads Lessons in Truth says, you know, there's something there that really touches me. What is it? And I can tell you what it is. It's mysticism. She takes us from metaphysics to mysticism. And she does it in one chapter in 40-some-odd paragraphs. And it's right there. And unfortunately, Unity looked at that chapter, and it was so powerful, they said, we got to put it at the beginning of the book. And when they did it, everybody reads it and nobody understands it. But it's very evident when you start with 11 chapters of metaphysics that grow through affirmations and denials and faith and prayer and then gets us up to spiritual gifts and unity of the Spirit and then goes into Lessons in Truth as the final chapter. It's very evident she has taken us from a metaphysical frame of spirituality to a mystical frame of spirituality. And I can tell you the problem with that crazy cousin that you've probably got at Thanksgiving is he or she doesn't know metaphysics. His or her life is probably not grounded. That's why they vote. She votes the way she does. He acts the way he does. Unity provides a grounding. That grounding is metaphysics. And it's a lifetime endeavor, and it's a beautiful thing. And I am eternally grateful for metaphysics because metaphysics reached down and grabbed me out of the gutter, and it brought back the gospel for me. It grounded my life. And it does for each of us. We are metaphysical Christians. We're metaphysical mystics. That is the great lesson. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
So as we prepare to go into a time of meditation, first of all, thank you, Mark, for that wonderful lesson. Oh. Yes. I actually feel like we should be starting a book study now on Lessons in Truth. Maybe in the next year. But let's move into a time of mystical meditation, shall we? Go ahead and adjust your position, becoming comfortable. I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze to the floor in front of you. Let's take a nice deep breath, pausing at the top of the breath, and then exhaling long and slow. And repeat this, relaxing the body each time a little bit more with that exhale. Deep breath, pause, and exhale. And now I invite you to do a gentle body scan with your thoughts, just seeing if there are any areas that are carrying a little stress, a little tension. And allow them to soften, releasing that tightness, letting those knots go. As we relax physically, our thoughts may calm down as well. But if thoughts arise, know that you have the power to not become entangled with them. You can simply focus once more. And this time, let's focus on our hearts, our heart space. I invite you to say silently the affirmation, I am the inlet and the outlet of spirit. I am the inlet with your inhale. I am the outlet of God. I am the inlet. I am the outlet of all there is. And as we allow ourselves to move deeper and deeper still into this connection, this awareness, I invite you to keep your focus on that simple and gentle affirmation. I am the inlet and the outlet of love. I am the inlet and the outlet of presence. As we move into the silence, we go deeper in the silence. We go deeper. the inlet and the outlet of presence. And as we continue to sit restfully, giving thanks for this time of communion, I invite you to allow the words and the music from Brent and Patty's song to wash over you.
Mother, Father, God, at the depth of my being, you are my peace and my joy. Mother, Father, God, at the depth of my being, you are my peace and my joy. Mother, Father, God, at the depth of my being, you are my peace and my joy. You are my peace and my joy. You are my peace and my joy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I realize the words don't match that song. And I'll take it. These things happen sometimes. So let's join together in prayer, shall we? If you would join with me in our offertory prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for the abundance in my life. And so it is. We do have a few announcements coming up. The Toys for Tots drive, there's a box in the foyer here. It's going on until that first Sunday in December. Bring new unwrapped toys and just drop it off in the box. We're doing this with St. Mark's. So let's fill the box to overflowing. If you're not yet back with us in person for services, feel free to drop them off at my house. I'll be happy to bring them into church for you. Next Sunday is our Thanksgiving potluck. We will be having that downstairs in the parish hall. Windows will be open, so dress warmly. We want to keep some fresh air. We're also going to set up plenty of tables so that we can spread out. Which leads me to the next thing. I'm going to need help setting up. If you're interested in that, I'd like to get it set up Saturday. I have to get the okay from St. Mark's first, but they've let us do that in the past. Just let me know at the end of the service, or email me if you're watching via Facebook. And then on Tuesday, the 23rd, we're going to begin the class, The Teachings of Jesus. This will be held at 7 p.m. Via Zoom. So let me know if you want to do that as well, so I can send you the Zoom link. And then 11:30 is our annual fundraiser, the Giving Tuesday. This is really the only fundraiser that we do. It's an opportunity to give above and beyond what you do with your regular offering if you feel led to do so. As always, we appreciate all of the donations that this generous community bestows upon this ministry. So we thank you very much for that, and I'm feeling like I'm leaving something out. What? A song? I was thinking announcement. But yeah, let's do a song. Yeah.
There's a new territory that I never saw before, like a fire of transformation breaking through my core. It's shining in the darkness, I can see the light of day, and this new territory is my strength, it is my way. This new territory is our strength, so let us pray. I pray that you will see the very best, the best of love, the very best of everything. I pray that you will see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. Wake up, and see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. Let go, and see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. Forgive, and see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. Let go, and see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. Stand up, and see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. Say yes, and see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. Oh yes, see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. There's a new territory that we've never seen before, like the fires of transformation breaking through our core. It's shining in the darkness, I can see the light of day, and this new territory, it is our strength, it is our way. See this new territory, it's our strength, so let us pray. Well, I pray that you will see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. I pray that you will see the best of life, the best of love, the very best of everything. I pray.
Wow. Thank you, Patty and Brent. That was fantastic.
That's a
Ricky Byers song. Okay. Well, it's time that we say goodbye to our wonderful Facebook friends. It's been fantastic having you join us. And if you're watching it right now live or later on in the week, it doesn't matter. We're glad that you're part of this community. Thank you, my friends. If you'd like to support this community, please visit unityhagerstown.org and just click the donate button. Da, da, da. There's my little commercial. Bye, friends.